So Dino, here we are again, talking about MIPIM, 5 months out, more or less. What has happened in the couple of weeks since we last did one of these videos?
So since last time we met and had a video like this, we have invested in what we're calling North of England Suite, which is a large space, which is fantastically located in the Palais. It's a space that some people will be familiar with. It overlooks the Croisette, the road, and it has indoor space and outdoor space. So it's a significant part of the build for MIPIM, and we're very pleased to be given the opportunity to be able to invest in it. And so it was quite pleasing to be able to jump on the opportunity and, you know, have it for the north of England.
People might be thinking, hold on, you only had a stand or a space for the first time last year. Why make this decision to move already?
Well, we're ambitious. We've got lots to say. The delegation was the biggest UK delegation last year. You know, we want to be able to give our clients and our partners better. So this space is now available to us, you know, from Monday through to Friday. It offers nearly 10 hours a day of time for us to be able to curate a variety of activities. And I think, you know, we're keen to do that. We're keen to work with different types of organisations, enabling them to do something different. So it's not just, you know, death by panel. There could be activation sessions, of which we did a few this year. There could be one-to-one interviews, launch events. Particularly interested in the idea where local authorities and towns and cities do takeover sessions. A lot of what has gone before has been it's been very difficult for some of the differing towns and cities to be able to get their time in the spotlight, and this is an opportunity to have a particular time, particular session that is all dedicated to one particular town or city. So the flexibility is what's key. We're in the early stages of designing the space, which we are going to lean into. Can't say too much at the moment because we haven't confirmed it, but we'll lean into a digital fit out so that we can change that to fit whoever's in it at that time.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting, and I really like what you said about giving towns and cities that may not have had the platform at MIPIM before the platform, and it's very much what we set out to do, wasn't it, when we sort of upscaled our MIPIM offering. So yeah, super exciting. But we'll still have our sessions on the main stand as well, right? So this is not a swapping out situation. This is very much a value add.
It's an addition to. So the UK stage sessions that we delivered this year in March were the most well attended in the UK hub, which I think is a really testament to our team, to our delegation, to people interested in North of England. Right? They turned up in force to watch what was being said, to get involved, and I think that's probably for a number of reasons, but it's because we are a slightly different entity to those at MIPIM. We are a media house, we're a publishing house, we've got a reach, we've got all of that stuff that enables people to get things in a diary, hear it, over and over, and make sure that they're at the right things. So we continue to have those 4 sessions. 2 will be dedicated to the north of England, the other 2 to our Scottish delegation, which we're doing, which we touched on in the previous video. So yeah, and we'll have the space as well in the UK hub, because I felt it was important that the North still be represented in a UK context with others, whilst also leading from the front with a much bigger space, which is the North of England Suite.
We've also established some themes, haven't we, for sessions in the North of England Suite. Do you want to tell us a bit about what they are? Yeah,
we developed the themes because we wanted to be able to include as many types of businesses and locations as possible. So we developed the Investable North theme, which I think will appeal to towns, cities, places, around what are the investment opportunities, what do the regeneration plans look like for places around the north, and that's fairly straightforward, I think. But what I'm equally excited about is the Great Minds series that we're doing. So it's a question of bringing collaborators together, so project teams who are doing things differently, who may be doing very innovative stuff in the north, but they're working with people from all over the country, all over the world, who are interested in developing better projects across the north.
So it could be, just to put some flesh on those bones, it could be something like, a local authority coming and talking about their town centre master plan for Investable North, for example, and great minds, it might be, you know, a landscape architect, an architect, a planner, a developer who are working together on a project, coming together to talk about how they're, you know, overcoming the viability gap, for example, or how they are overcoming issues around sustainability, that sort of thing.
Yeah, or yes, exactly that sort of thing. Maybe more about exemplar delivery as well, because, you know, part of what I think is an opportunity that's under-tapped in MIPIM is who are the best at what they do in this space. Because if you're trying to talk to the world's market and you're saying, come and work here, I think it's obvious that you want to know who's operating in that patch that are at the top of their game. So, you know, there's plenty of really good examples of work going on, right across the patch, from, you know, Liverpool to Newcastle, Manchester, Sheffield. You know, they're all doing some fantastic stuff, and those businesses might be UK businesses. There may be businesses abroad, but they're delivering better places for us. And I wanted to be able to shine a light on the individuals behind that and why their thinking has changed the shape of those cities and towns. So it is also practically quite an important thing, because it shares the thinking across a full project team. They have a cost to them, and so it's important to make sure that those costs are not overbearing. So I think where you can share that across a project team and help profile all the various elements of that project, I think it's a benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing what ideas we get. You know, some very talented people, some very exciting places. It'd be great to be able to showcase them in the North of England suite next March.
You know, what can you tell us about the way the coverage of MIPIM gets perceived, and what we can create for people in terms of editorial, news, profile? How do you see it?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Obviously, the world outside of MIPIM does go on, but very much the eyes of the property world are on MIPIM for that week, and, you know, they want to see the news that's coming out of it. And I think to an extent, gone are the days where you would get announcement after announcement after announcement at MIPIM. Last year we did have the big announcement about Old Trafford, and I think using that as an example of the benefits that, you know, people in our delegation can get from coming with us is, you know, this project was announced and we were there, and the leader of Trafford was there right next to me when this news broke. So I just turned around, grabbed him and had a quick chat with him, and then that was, you know, featured in the story. And that Place Northwest was the only place that had that quote, because he was there, we were there. So that's sort of a very real example of how it can benefit people coming with us. But, you know, I talk a lot about, when I'm talking about the benefits of attending MIPIM, it's about FaceTime with, you know, key decision makers across the region. You know, you can have as many conversations in 3 days at MIPIM with really important, really influential people than it would take you a year to have outside of MIPIM. And the same is true in reverse. So I benefit from that, obviously, but, you know, everyone wants to have a decent relationship with the press, a collaborative relationship. We talk about collaboration a lot, and by seeing the same people, by seeing my face or Julia's face or Charlie's face day in, day out at MIPIM, you develop those relationships, and it makes the whole process a lot easier. You know, if when we're back in the UK, a story breaks in Stockport, for example, and we've spent 3 days and seen Paul Richards and his team, you know, 3 or 4 times, having that relationship makes it so much easier to then approach the council and say, we've heard this, is it true? Would you like to comment? So it benefits everyone, I think.
And in terms of the private sector, who obviously you know, do MIPIM for various reasons, one of them will be publicity, one of them will be profile. You know, what can they get from spending more time with you and your team?
Yeah, I think, well, what we get, and it benefits them as well, is a better understanding of their projects. Projects these days, they all have a story, they all have a narrative. They're being done for a reason. And I think it's very important for private sector developers, whether they are, you know, in town centres or in the suburbs doing industrial or doing offices, it's very important that they get across the reasons that they're doing the project, not just the project that they're doing. And by speaking to us and having a relationship with us, it's a lot easier for them to do that and to have that relationship and to ensure that the story comes out in a fair and balanced way, because everyone knows everything. And I think that's one of the key benefits for private sector developers, for sure.